Hello, wonderful, amazing, fantastic geometry students. This is Ms. Youngblood here, bringing you today's session for geometry, which is going to be finding the volume of 3D figures. So let's get into it. So if you don't know what this lovely platform is called, this is Google Classroom, and this is where all of your assignments are. If you are not in my Google Classroom, please reach out, text, email, whatever you need, get in contact with me so that I can give you that code. Also, you can also talk to your teachers about the other Google Classroom codes. Like if you're on your history teacher's class, they have access to my Google Classroom, so you can reach out to them. So please make sure you are on Google Classroom. With that being said, if you scroll to the classwork section on Google Classroom, scroll down to our current content week, which is May 18th through 22nd. Today's video will be going over session 1, which is finding the volume of 3D figures. So we're going to click on that session. As you can see, you have one assignment in Khan Academy to complete. We're actually going to start with the Google form that I created because it gives more of a general idea of how to find the volume of 3D figures. So type in my school email, type in, you all know my name, and we're going to hit next. So in this first session, we're just talking about finding the volume of prisms. So a prism is a 3D figure comprised of two bases separated by a distance called the height. To find the volume of a prism, we calculate the area of the base and multiply it by the height. And if you did the assignments from 2 weeks ago, we were finding the volume of just rectangular prisms. So we found the area of the rectangle and then multiplied it by the height, and that gave us the volume. I have created a little formula sheet with the 4 prisms that we're going to be focusing on: rectangular prisms, where the base is a rectangle; triangular prisms, where the base is a triangle. Just we already went through this one, but to emphasize on the triangular prism, again, we find the area of the base, which is a triangle. So we would do the base times whatever height is given and divided by 2, and then multiply it by the height, or the distance connecting the two bases. And I'll make sure I draw on it so you can clearly see what I'm talking about. Trapezoidal prisms, the base is a trapezoid. So find the area of the trapezoid, the height of the trapezoid, times the sum of the two bases divided by 2, and then multiply it by that height. And lastly, we have a cylinder. So for a cylinder, the base is a circle. Find the area of the circle, pi r squared, multiply it by the height, and that will get you the volume of the cylinder. This is the first problem we are given on the Google form, so it would be helpful for us to start by identifying which kind of prism this is. If we look at this, you see the base of this prism is a triangle. So we have this triangle here and this triangle here. That means this prism is called a triangular prism. So this is the formula we're going to use. We're going to find the area of the base, which is a triangle, and multiply it by the height. So let's go to our sketch screen and see what that looks like. Working with a triangular prism, we're going to go ahead and trace the base that is the triangle. So we see with my pink marker, I have traced our triangle. That is the base of our prism. The line that is connecting it to the other triangle, so let me outline the other triangle in orange. So this is the other triangle of our base for our prism. So we have two bases of the same shape, and then I will outline the height in green. So this is the line connecting the two bases. This is our height. So our big H, or our height, is that 5 feet. That's our height. And now we need to find the area of both triangles, which is going to be the same. So the area is going to be the base. Our base is, let me try to use a different color, this 8. So our base, which is 8, times our height. I will use our height, which is 6.9 times 6.9, and then divided by 2. So that's just the area formula for a triangle. Reminder, the base and height are the two sides that are making the right angle. So we're doing 6.9 times 8 divided by 2. So if we quickly switch to our calculator, we said we had 8 times 6.9. We are dividing all of that by 2. So if you type that in a calculator, you should get 27.6. So our area is going to be 27.6. And then to find the volume, we're just doing the area times the height. So we're doing 27.6 times 5. And then we'll type that in our calculator. So in our calculator, when we type that in, we got 138 feet cubed. So let's go back to our browser. So for the first answer, it should be A, and then we just go on to the next one. After you complete all these, it will just send you a email with all the right answers if you want to go back and change them and see how I got them. Or you could just be watching this video. So this is our next problem. So for the sake of this video, I'm probably going to spend the majority of my time in the sketch screen, but you guys can just always switch back to the Google form and make sure you're clicking the right answer. This is our second problem. Again, so if we're identifying it, this means that we have a rectangular prism because the base is a rectangle. So let's go ahead and outline that in our pink. So it actually doesn't matter which rectangle you pick for the base because all the sides are rectangles and everything, but I'm just picking the one that kind of looks like they meant for it to be the base because they have the right angle markings on them. So these are our two bases, our two rectangles. So that means that this purple line here, this 9 is going to be our height. So we've identified our height is 9 feet. So now we have to find the area of these pink rectangles that I have outlined. So remember, the area for a rectangle is the base times the height. So those are the two sides that are making the right angle. So that's going to be this 11, the 5, and the 11. So the area is going to be 5 times 11, which is going to be 55. So you could say the area of this rectangular base is 55 yards squared. So remember, to find the volume, we're just multiplying that area, which is 55, times the height, which is 9. I'll go ahead and type that into my calculator on my phone for the sake of time. We get 495 yards cubed. So that should be the answer for number 2. For our third problem, the base that I'm going to outline in pink is a trapezoid. So this shape is a trapezoidal prism. So if you're doing this on your own, if you want to pause and do it on your own, you're going to use the formula for a trapezoidal prism. So again, start by identifying your height. That's the easiest way I found to start these problems. So the height connects the two bases. That's this line right here, which is going to be 10 meters. So our height for our trapezoidal prism is 10 meters. Now we want to find the area of the base, which is the trapezoid. So remember, when you're finding the area of a trapezoid, we have to divide everything by 2. That's just part of the formula. And we're going to multiply the height of the trapezoid. So the height of our trapezoid is this line right here that makes a right angle with both bases. So our height for our trapezoid is 6.3 meters. Then we multiply it by our two bases, which are these two parallel lines. So these two parallel lines are going to be the 6 meters and the 12 meters. I know they kind of drew it confusing, so remember, these lengths have to be the same. So even though this says 12 meters here, I'm going to add that this length is 12 meters. If you're focusing on that front trapezoid, you're focusing on this back trapezoid. If this is 6 meters, then this has to be 6 meters. So this 7 meters that they add right here is just to throw you off. You don't use this. So again, we're adding the two parallel sides, which are our bases, 12 plus 6. So now we're going to work that out in our calculator. That gets us 6.3 times 18 divided by 2. I can fit that right here. So 6.3 times 18 gets us 113.4 divided by 2. If we divide that by 2, you should get 56.7. So the area of both these trapezoids is 56.7. The reason we're multiplying by the height, I feel like I didn't really emphasize that in this video, is because it's like we're stacking these trapezoids on top of each other. So we're stacking these areas on top of each other 10 times. So we can add this number to itself 10 times, but what we've been doing is just multiplying it by 10. So we're going to have the area 56.7 times the height 10, which gets us 567 cubic meters. So that should be our answer for number 3. Our final problem for the prism section is going to be this cylinder. We know it's a cylinder because if we identify our bases, we have 2 circles as the base. So this is one base, this circle. This is another base, this circle that we see the radius is 9. And the height is the line connecting those 2 circles. So our height for this prism is going to be 11. Height is 11. And now we're going to find the area of the circle using the area formula. So that is just pi times the radius squared. Our radius is 9. So our area is going to be 81 pi. Okay, so that's our area. And then to find our volume, we're going to do the area, which is 81 pi times 11. So if we do that, I would do 81 times 11. Which gets me 891 pi. I'm going to go to my form real quick and see what the options are. So the options are in decimals. So then to get the final answer, you want to multiply that 891 times pi in our calculator. So where's my pi? So your final answer for this one should be 2,799.16 meters cubed. So that should be our volume for number 4. Our last section in the Google form is talking about finding the volume of 3D figures that are pyramids. So a pyramid is a 3D figure that has a base, and then the sides of the bases actually have triangles coming up from them that meet at a point at the top. So we see in a rectangular pyramid, the base is a rectangle. Then it has 4 triangles that come together to meet at a point. In a triangular pyramid, the base is this triangle. So you're going to have 3 triangles that come together and meet at a point. And for this cone, the base is a circle. And the sides of the circle just kind of turn around and form together to make that point, to make the cone. So that's what a pyramid is. And these are the 3 pyramid formulas that we're going to be focused on. And the difference between a pyramid formula is you're still going to find the area of the base. You're still going to multiply by the height, but to account for the fact that you're not going straight up to a base, so we're not just multiplying, we're actually tipping together and kind of making the volume decrease, we divide by 3. So that's the easiest way I could kind of explain why you divide by 3. You're dividing by 3 because the volume is being decreased by the triangles kind of coming together to make that pyramid. But again, you can always just remember the formula. The area times the height divided by 3. So again, the area of the triangle times the height divided by 3. The area of the circle times the height divided by 3. So our first problem, we're going to go to our sketch and work it. For our first pyramid problem, you see we have this shape, so it would be helpful to first identify what kind of pyramid we are working with. So if we trace our base, we see our base is this right triangle down here. And then, so that's our area, and our height goes from the base to the points of the triangle. So our height is going to be this line here, which is this 6 centimeters. So our height for our first pyramid, which happens to be a triangular pyramid, is going to be 6 centimeters. And we need to find the area of this base that I've traced over in orange. So remember, we're just finding the area of the triangle. So that is the base times the height. Remember, the base and height are the 2 sides making the right triangle. They're always going to trip you up and give you more information than you need. We're just using the 2 sides making the right angle. So that's the 3 and the 4. So our area, again, we're using the 3 and the 4, is going to be 3 times 4 divided by 2. So that's 12 divided by 2, which is 6. Our area for this triangle down here is 6 centimeters squared. To find the volume for this triangular pyramid, we're going to take that area. So our volume is going to be our area. So remember, we're doing a pyramid now, not a prism, if that's what I said prior. So because we're working with this pyramid, we have the area times the height, which is 6, And we have to divide by 3 to take into account that it is slanted and coming to a point. So 6 times 6 is 36. 36 divided by 3 is 12. So the volume for this triangular pyramid is going to be 12 cubic centimeters. For our next problem in the Google form, we have, my apologies, this next pyramid. So we're going to go ahead and identify our base so we can clearly identify this pyramid. So our base is this 4-sided figure where all 4 sides make right angles, which we know is a rectangle. So this is going to be a rectangular pyramid. Reminder, when you're finding the height of the pyramid, you're going from the base to the point that's made at the top. So our height is this line here, which is 7 centimeters. So the height of our rectangular pyramid is going to be 7 centimeters. And we need to find the area of that base. We all know how to find the area of a rectangle. The area of a rectangle is just the base times the height. So these 2 sides making the right angle, 6 times 5. So the area is just 6 times 5. Again, I just took those from here, 6 times 5. So the area for this rectangle is going to be 30 centimeters squared. To find the volume, we're multiplying the area, which is 30, times the height, which is 7. And because we're working with a pyramid, we have to divide by 3. So 30 times 7 is 210. Divided by 3 is going to get us 70 cubic centimeters for the volume of this rectangular pyramid. This is our last shape for the Google form. Let's start by identifying the base. So the base for this pyramid is a circle. So that means we're going to have a circular pyramid which has a special name called a cone. So for this cone, our height goes from the base, which is a circle, to the point. So our height is going to be 14. To find the area of the base, which is a circle, we're going to use the area formula for a circle, which is pi times the radius, which is 7. Remember, the radius goes from the center of the circle to the outer part of the circle. The radius is 7. The area for a circle is pi r squared. So we're doing pi times 7 squared, which gets us 49 pi. So our volume is going to be our area, which is actually, let me verify real quick that our Google form is looking for a decimal. Yes. So because our Google form is looking for a decimal, it is probably in our best interest to convert this to a decimal right away. So in our calculators, we are going to type 49 times pi, which gets us an area for the base of 153.94 square centimeters. Yes, okay. So now for our volume, we're going to take that area, 153.94, which is the area, times the height, which is 14, and then we're dividing that by 3. Again, because we're working with a pyramid. The sides of the circle are coming, not really sides, the curve of the circle, the outer part of the circle is coming up to make a point, so we're dividing by 3 to take that into consideration. So in our calculators, if we do that lovely decimal, 153.94 times 14, we get 2,155.16. And then we're going to divide that by 3. So we have 2,155.16 divided by 3. Our volume for this cone should be 718.39 cubic meters. So that's the volume for this cone. That concludes the first part of our assignment, which is the Google form. So we've just completed the pyramids, and we know we've already completed the prisms. I did not mean to submit. So you can submit. I didn't mean to. Oh, great. I can't. Cool. So I'm not going to submit so that I can go back and go through it with people who want to. But you would hit submit when you are done. So then we're going to go to Google Classroom again. That's the first part of your assignment. Then you're going to go to Khan Academy and do one more assignment. So in Khan Academy, for session 2, which is always due on Fridays. Make sure you're in geometry. Or I'm sorry, session 1. For session 1, we're doing volume of spheres. That's the one assignment you have to do. So that's the last three-dimensional shape you kind of learn about in geometry that you need to be familiar with. So you need to know all the pyramids, all the prisms, at least be able to identify them. Then from there, you can better understand how to find their volume. And the last thing is a sphere. So a sphere is a three-dimensional object where it's just comprised of a whole bunch of circles. So you have an inner circle, and then around each point on the circle, there's like another circle, like continuously spinning around, and it makes a sphere. So there's no like hard height for a prism or pyramid, which we know were the cylinder and cone. A sphere is just all circles, it's all curves. So to find the volume of a sphere, we use a formula that I'm going to go through on the sketch page. This is the first problem that was given in my problem set in Khan Academy. This sphere here with a radius of 7. So to find its volume, we're using the volume formula for a sphere, which is going to be volume equals 4 thirds pi r cubed. So really, the 4 thirds and the pi kind of stay there, and the only thing you have to be aware of to find the volume is the radius. So for this particular problem, we're given a radius of 7. Remember, the radius always goes from the center to any point on the circle or any point on the sphere in this particular case. So our radius is 7. So just going to plug that into the volume formula. Volume equals 4 thirds times pi times our radius, which is 7 cubed. Now, what I noticed about this problem set that was the most challenging thing for me personally was the fractions. So there are going to be some problems when they're really testing your fraction skills. So we are going to make sure we go through that in detail so you can get those problems correctly. But for this first problem, we're just doing, so we're going to bring down this 4 thirds, bring down this pi, and we're going to do 7 to the third power, 7 cubed, gets us 343. So we have 343 times 4 thirds pi. So I'm going to take a quick look back at the problem in Khan Academy. And it says to either use an exact answer. Let me switch my screen back so you can see what I'm doing. Oops. It says use an exact answer in terms of pi, or we can multiply by 3.14. So because it gives us this option to put it in a decimal, I'm just going to multiply that all together in my calculator to see what we get. So in my calculator, I'm doing 3.14 times 343. Oops. 343 times 3.14. And then I'm going to multiply by 4. So times 4. And then divide by 3. So when I did all that, I should have gotten 1,436.03 cubic units, since it doesn't give us units. For our next problem, it's very similar. We're given a sphere, and the radius for this sphere is going to be this 10 here. So we set it up the same way. Volume equals 4 thirds times pi times our radius, our radius, which is 10 cubed. So in our calculator, or off the top of your head, we would have 4 thirds times pi times 1,000. So in my calculator, I'm going to actually clearly write what I did. I did 4 times 3.14 times 1,000, and then divided all that by 3. So that might be a little easier for us to see. So again, 4 times 3.14, got me that, got me 12.56 times 1,000. It's 12,560, so I'll write that. The volume is 12,560 divided by 3. So divide that by 3. So your volume, I'm out of space. Oh no. So the volume should be 4,186 0.67 cubic units. So that's the volume for the next problem. So again, all the ones that are whole numbers, you're just going to approach in this way. I just wanted to show you this so that you could clearly see what I typed into my calculator. As we all know, Khan Academy can be very disrespectful sometimes, and the second time I did this set, they didn't give me one of the fraction problems. So being the kind math teacher that I am, I will do an example that has a fraction in it for you. So this is my attempt at drawing a sphere. Here's the radius, which is going to be, what was one example they gave me? I believe they gave me 1/4. They did give me 1/4 one time. So let's look at 1/4. I don't think they ever gave me an example where the numerator wasn't 1. If they give you one, just reach out and I'll help you do it. So, it looks hideous. Our radius is 1/4. So we're still going to plug it into the same formula. But in Khan Academy, they made me use pi equals 22/7, I believe. Or to write your answer with the pi. So I'll show both ways. Actually, no, I'm not going to show that. We'll probably just focus on the answer with pi for the sake of our sanity. So the volume is going to be 4/3 times pi times 1/4 to the third power. So again, they are not going to let you do a decimal. You have to be able to convert it with the fractions. So we have to work through these fractions. So we're going to have volume is 4/3 times pi times 1/64. Okay, so the way I got that, to cube that fraction, I did 1 cubed. So 1 cubed is 1, 4 cubed is 64. So that's how I cubed the fraction. And now I have to simplify this. So this pi is still here, and we're multiplying the fraction. Let me rewrite it. We're multiplying the fraction 4/3 times 1/64, and that pi is going to stay there. So we have to multiply this fraction and simplify it. So we're going to have 4/3 times 64. And to reduce this fraction, we can divide the top and bottom by 4. I could have multiplied this together, but I figured it would be easiest for me to still see this 64, so I don't have to divide that really big number by 64 unnecessarily. So if you divide the top and bottom by 4, you would get 1/3 times 16, which gets us, I should have been here the whole time, which gives us 1/48, and we still have that pi next to it. So again, pi should have been right here and right here. So again, our final answer that you would type in would be pi divided by 48. Again, I know this looks complicated, but really all it's doing is testing you on your fraction skills, which you do need to be somewhat familiar with when you take the SAT and you can't use your calculator. So again, if you have a hard problem like this and you need help with it, please reach out so I can help you get 100% on this Khan Academy assignment, because it's not that bad and I can just help you simplify the fraction. So that's a quick example of how to do it with fractions. Thank you so much for making it through this much of the video. I'm going to quickly go back to my browser to wrap up on Google Classroom. So again, you just have that one assignment in Google Classroom in the Google form. So just make sure you're completing that for session 1. If you haven't already, do the weekly check-in. Those are easy points, and it's a way to for me to see how you're doing. I can try to respond. It takes me a minute. Just be patient with me. Still working out a system with that. And also, if any of this stuff is confusing, you can just look at the weekly welcome video, and it kind of quickly goes over what you need to be doing to stay caught up for this week. Again, thank you for watching. I hope to see you soon. Feel free to reach out, text, email if you need anything, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye!